Happy Sunday. Want to say hi, Ava?
Hi.
Hi. I was playing with some fake lashes today. The ones I used from my photo session this past Thursday. And my husband went to Target. He bought me some eyelash glue. Yes, I really do have an amazing husband. And it's pretty hard to put them on. It's hard stuff. Like, I think you can buy like special tweezers to put them on. So it'll take some work. So today I did a video for my my coaching practice where I talk about what clients typically get when they sign up with me as their coach. And I also share with them about my transformations and what I have gotten out of having a life coach in my life. And my life has transformed in so many ways. My life coach entered my life as a life coach. She was kind of always informally my mentor and my coach, especially on a business side of it. And then it was official when she became my life coach around, gosh, I want to say like April to May of this last year. And it has, like having a life coach has been pivotal in my life in so many ways. And Ava's playing with the Diva light in case you're wondering, like, what's going on. I have these two cameras in the middle of this ring of light. And it's obviously very fascinating. And so Ava's playing with it. She's fascinated with the light. And my kids love being in front of the camera because they're so used to me being in front of the camera. So they're naturals. And I've become more natural, with the camera in my face. Although having a photo shoot with your coach there and your coach's husband and two people you respect deeply, and having other clients of your coach there, and a makeup artist and a hairstylist, like, it was kind of awkward for me. I think I'm pretty natural in front of the camera because it's just me and I'm just talking to you. I feel like I'm just talking in a very personal thing, like a personal conversation, but having a camera in my face, and then I was like, oh, I have this nice tie around my belly, and I felt kind of self-conscious and awkward. And then my coach, she went on her video and she talked about how she saw her clients like transform, from like before the hair and makeup to after, and how like it probably took her a few sessions for her to get really comfortable with being very natural in front of the camera, a still camera versus a video camera, which is, you're just talking, it's not a big deal, but like to like sit there and pose like that takes something. That's a different kind. It's okay, but she knocked over my water bottle. She's like, sorry. It's just different. So yesterday I had some really profound thoughts. And first and foremost, the failure today is the eyelashes. I think they turn out pretty well, but you can see there's like no glue right there. So I'm learning how to put on my eyelashes because I like them. I learned that I like lashes, and I got used to having them on for 2 days, and I like them. So I'll make an effort to learn how to put on lashes more easily.
Hello.
And then the other thing. So yesterday, like whenever stuff happens in my life, when I have so-called failures, they're so enlightening to me. And I would never think of it that way if it wasn't for being the transformed version that I am. And one of the things that happened yesterday was Ava and Austin, they were my kids. I have a 2-year-old Ava and a 6-year-old Austin. And Austin was trying to draw something on his Ninja Turtle with a blue marker. And then Ava saw him using the blue marker, so she started using the blue marker, and she started drawing markers all over her hands and her feet. And she drew it all over her hands and feet, and she was sitting on the couch, and so she started getting some markers on the couch.
Hello.
Hello. And our couch is like this light green. It's pretty old. Like, we plan to sell it eventually, whoever is willing to buy it, or donate it to the Salvation Army or something like that. I mean, it's like a couch that has weathered quite a bit of years. We got it, gosh, back in 2012 when Austin was first born, and now it's 2009, so it's been a good 6-7 years since we've had the couch, and it's been through both kids. And we don't plan on getting a new couch until Ava's old enough to not draw on the couch. And my husband, he was so mad. He was so mad, and he sent Austin to his room, and then he had a very serious look on his face when he looked at Ava and was telling her that, she was making a mess, and he did not care to clean up the mess that was on the couch. And usually I would get really worked up, and I would get really upset, and I would be like, I might get mad about the kids, or I might get upset with my husband about how he was reacting. And something shifted in me where I saw this as a really good opportunity for me to understand myself and to understand my husband. And I would blow up at my husband, or I would yell at him, or be really untransformed about it, and probably not really serve as a very good conversationalist or partner in my relationship by getting all worked up and not being responsible for my actions in response to how he was feeling. And I had a talk with my son as he was crying in bed, and he said, Daddy was such a meanie. He was so mean, and that makes me angry and sad and upset. And I said, Daddy can be angry, but you don't have to be angry. You get to choose if you want to be angry too, or you can choose not to be angry. I'm not angry, Austin. I didn't choose to be angry, so I'm not angry. So he thought about it amid his tears, and he called his dad naughty, because that's what we call the kids, like when they, you're naughty or nice, like for Santa's Christmas list. And when Ava pulls at Austin or takes his toys and stuff, he would call her naughty instead of calling her stupid or something, because we said we don't call each other stupid. We can say naughty or something, but silly, but we try not to use the word stupid. And he called his dad naughty, and he said he was such a meanie. And I thought about this, and I thought about what kind of parent I wanted to be for my kids. And I shared this story with my mom this morning as we drove back from the meditation center. But I shared it with my husband and said, these years, they fly by really fast. And you can choose to treasure all these moments you have with our kids, or you can resist the crap out of it. And it's just a different way to look at parenting, And my mom, she's like, well, do you think you're too easy on your kids? Like, you spoil them and you love them too much? You need to tell them when they're doing something that you disapprove of, so that they don't go to other people's homes and mark on their couches or take out all their toys and don't put things away. And I said, it hasn't come to that yet. And I do train them, and I do talk about them putting away their toys and not marking the couch and stuff. But there's a way to do that very matter-of-factly, and there's a way of doing it and still treasuring the moment you have with them as a parent, because it really is fleeting. They're only 5. Like, Austin's already 6. Ava's already 2. Like, it's only going to be a few more years. And I know my husband, he would rather them fast forward through these years, because it's tough for him. He'd rather talk to kids like when they're logical, and he calls them like rational human beings or something. But I love this moment. I love this moment when the kids are so young, and it's challenging sometimes, when Ava's 2 and she opens all the drawers and empties everything out and dumps out all the toys and bites Austin or grabs his toys and stuff. But there's also something so endearing and cute about how carefree she is, how unconstrained and unrestricted she is, because she's just 2 and she's so innocent and she's so happy and charismatic, and she just enjoys life. She enjoys being near us and she enjoys being in our company. And it's just something to see the world through a 2-year-old with such wonder and appreciation and just really being in the present. Like she kids don't have any concept of time, right? They just enjoy the moment and they climb in your lap, and when they want you to hold them, they'll say, hold you, and they don't care that you're in the middle of making a vegan lasagna dish, or if you're trying to do work or do a video or whatever. Like, they don't care. They're just in the moment. There's just something so amazing about it. And my mom said, she said those things, and usually I would get really caught up in the conversation, and I would get really angry, and I would argue with her about why she was wrong and why I was right. And I thought about if what she said, if I agreed with, if she thought like I spoiled the kids too much and didn't discipline them enough, and if I was a pushover as a mom. And I got to think about it without being all worked up about it. And I got to think about what it's like to be my husband, a person who doesn't really care for the kids this age, and going through his stresses or going through whatever he's going through, however he sees the world and stuff. And I didn't have to get so caught up in it and so worked up about it. I simply could look at it from an observer's point of view, and to look at my response from a third person's point of view, and choose if I agreed with the response, or if it was something I'd rather change and be different about. And I could see that as a failure. I could see it as, man, yesterday really sucked. Everett yelled at the kids, and the kids were crying and upset, and my mom criticized me for not being a good parent. But I didn't see it that way. I thought it was such a good chance for me to, 1, have content for today's video, and 2, to really think about how I would like to parent my kids, and what perspective I could share with my husband about how I would like to parent the kids, and also see from his perspective, and see how he would like to parent the kids, and then get my mom's perspective on how she thinks I parent the kids. But it's no longer coming from a place of self-defense and judgment and reaction. It's more like, it's more like deeply reflecting. It's pensive. It's like, well, I get to choose. I get to create, like, what kind of parent do I choose to be? What kind of parents would I like to provide for my kids? What kind of experience would I like to give them if they made a mistake and rode all over their feet, or if they spilt water all over the floor, or if they climbed on the table, or if they want to be held? Like, it's like you really get to choose. You really get to create how and what kind of parent and what experience you'd like to have, and what experience you would like to play, what kind of role you'd like to play in choosing the kind of experience that your kids have. And to me, that's living a very powerful life, one where you get freedom, you get choice. I manifest every day that I have complete freedom and total abundance. And I really do. And for the longest time, I thought freedom just means freedom, financial freedom, like tons of money. But freedom to me is also like the freedom to choose, the freedom of dictating and deciding and choosing how my life goes, how I'm going to parent my kids, what kind of parent I like to be, what role I would like to play in the experiences I paint for my kids, and what kind of conversations am I going to have with them about it. So perceived failure before, not so much anymore. More like opportunities to reflect and think about who I choose to be and how I choose to be. So, whenever you have disagreements, when you have a time where you think you're failing, or you have a time where you're, hey Lauren, where you're disagreeing with your husband, or if you think, gosh, like, am I doing this right? Am I doing this wrong? Do I have freedom here? You know, you can think, gosh, I have so much to be grateful for, and I'm so grateful I live my life so differently now, and I can see it so differently now, and I gotta say, not to toot my own horn or anything, but there is something really powerful about having a life coach in your life. Today I was doing a video for my Kajabi platform on an offer I was going to offer to my clients, and I talked about all the transformation I had with my clients and with myself to have a coach in my life. And I wouldn't be living this kind of life in this way if it weren't for having a life coach in my life. So, and if this happened to me last year, or it happened like before March of last year, I can't say I wouldn't be upset. I can't say I would be having this kind of view on this perceived failure. And how do you put a price on that? How do you place value on living such a powerful, transformed life? I don't know how to do it. I don't even know what number I would place on that. But I do know that having a life coach in your life is utterly transformative, infinitely powerful, and you have access to living a deeply fulfilling life, and you're complete. Not because you have a life coach. You're complete because you have access to being yourself completely and wholly, and without reservation, without so much emphasis placed on if you would get approval from the other person. Like before, when I put on fake lashes, I'd be like, well, you're doing it wrong. You know, like, it's not going to look good, or what will other people think? They'll think you're one of those weird people that put fake lashes on because she cares so much about her appearance. And I probably would rip them off and just try again or something like that. And I probably wouldn't even go live on a video unless the lashes look perfect or something. And they don't look as good as when the makeup artist put them on me. But I realized, who cares? It doesn't matter anymore, because it just doesn't, because you don't care so much anymore. You have this freedom to choose. You get this freedom of how you're going to respond to your life. You get the freedom to choose how you're going to live your life, and it's freeing. It's freeing in so many ways. So if you don't already know, get a life coach. Have a life coach in your life. You know, I talk about all the time about your hierarchy of needs, your air, your food, your water, your shelter. And then there's also doing your soul purpose, you know, living in your soul's expansion, living in doing what you came here to do, doing the very thing you came to do, and being yourself wholly, completely, from a soul alignment, from a soul-centered point of view. And I just didn't know how to get there. I really had no idea I could even get there until I hired Lauren to be a coach in my life. And that's what I do for a living. I love coaching. You know, I love talking with my clients. I love having deep, powerful conversations with them. I love talking about the blind spots and how they could possibly be holding themselves back. And I love them discovering that for themselves, and then them taking action to get out of their way and to just really live into the kind of life that they desire to live, for them to like live into doing their soul's purpose. There is just something so soul elevating, so enlivening, so amazing and fulfilling and profound about living that kind of life. And I get to be a part of it. I get to be a part of seeing this transformation. I get to be part of having this conversation, and it's utterly fulfilling. I love it. I love it so much. So if I resonate with you, if you like my messages, you like my vibe, you like my false eyelashes, reach out to me. I'm in the midst of creating some new offerings on my Kajabi and stuff like that, but you can check me on my website. You can check out my YouTube channel. You can check out some other videos I've done on Facebook, and see if I'm for you, and if I'm not. But if I am, and you're at that season of your life where you're just ready to really live a deeply transformed life, and you're just ready to do your soul's purpose, you're ready to listen and speak from your heart and your soul and to share yourself, then it sounds like you're ready to have a life coach in your life. And it could be me, or it could not be me. It might not be me. But either way, no matter who your life coach is, get one. And you will be floored and so grateful that you did, because your life will be forever and ever and ever and ever changed. Sending you love, light, pure energy, and profound clarity to take the action there is to take for your soul's expansion and all that is aligned for you. Here's to you living a soul elevated life, and I will see you tomorrow.